Hello, fellow female activists. Today we are learning about mental fitness. Cathy Perez here, Cathy Perez, and I am a wellness coach as well as your fellow female activist. And we again are going to talk about mental fitness. Okay, so the previous few episodes have been more about physical, okay, but still connected, right, to our mental health. And so today we're talking about mental fitness, though. Alrighty. So you know the drill. If you have been watching these, and if you're catching up even, you know that we start each of our videos with an actual, what my yoga instructor, my favorite yoga instructor, Bryony Smith, calls stopping to start. Okay, slowing down to start. So our PQ reps, our positive quotient reps. If you feel safe, feel free to close your eyes. I will myself. You can be sitting, standing, laying down, however you feel you want to engage. This is similar to like meditation. And what we're going for is rejuvenation. So, with that, go ahead and take two fingertips and rub them together with such intention that you can feel fingertip ridges. What all do you notice? What sensations are coming up as you rub those two fingers together? Go ahead now, and with your arms to the sides of you, go ahead and put one hand, fingertips, on something, whether that's on the side, maybe the actual device you're listening to this, and let those fingertips actually just move across whatever they're touching. Is it warm, what you're touching? Is there any friction? What type of texture are you noticing? As your mind tries to wander, just bring it back to what you're feeling. And now, your breath. You're not going to change your breath. What you are going to do is notice how it feels as it comes into your nose as you inhale, and how it feels as it exits your body, whether through your nose or through your mouth. Can you feel the sensation of cooler entrance into your nose and warmer as it exhales out your body? And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes, flicker them open. And that's with intention. I always want you to slowly open your eyes if, in fact, you have done so. Even opening your eyes too quickly after they've been closed can cause your ANS, your autonomic nervous system, to react in the flight mode, i.e., fight or flight. Your sympathetic nervous system is always on. That whole autonomic nervous system is always on. But hopefully, after each time you go through your PQs, as we do together, you will realize that when you slowly come out of the PQ reps and you slowly open your eyes, you then feel a refreshing sensation. Okay. Same thing can happen even if you choose not to PQ, but you close your eyes and then you just blink them open as opposed to just opening them. Your eyes if you're able to use them, are so inundated all the time, right? We're very blessed to have vision if that's the case. And there's a lot of sensory input. And so whenever we open our eyes, a lot of sensory overload comes through. And so no matter where you are and why you've closed your eyes, it's always a better idea to blink them open slowly. And you might have heard this when you're in meditation, right? Or maybe you're, in a darker place and then you go into a sunnier location, right? The purpose of that, again, is to let your eyes adjust without fear. And it is just a better way to prepare your eyes overall. I'll give you a bonus tip that has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. I have been wearing sunglasses of some type since I was like in junior high. And that was because, again, when I was young, I was very much into health, wellness, fitness, right? I would read all types of magazines, books, so forth and so on. Well, I heard or read somewhere that using sunglasses can um, help your eyesight as you grow, okay, as you move into maturity, right? All of us know that your eyes are strained all the time. And so the less strain you put on them with brightness, okay, in this case, natural brightness, by wearing sunglasses, you can then help your eyes again with longevity. They're still very likely going to change as you grow, okay, as mine did, but they didn't do so until my late 40s. So um, I wasn't requiring readers until just recently, like in the last 2 years. All right. So with that, let us move on to our mental fitness topic. So if you remember anything about the intro of this channel, it's all about, again, wellness for female activists. Okay. What we want to concentrate on always is the realization that our brains are not separate from our bodies. Now, the medical field would have you believe otherwise, but we all know that without a head, we're not alive, and vice versa. In most cases, you need a body, you require a body for your head to actually function. Well, in some cases, right? What I'm getting at is that we don't want to sever the two. We want us to be one whole human working in symphony, right? So mental fitness is extraordinary. Now, what I'm going to share with you is all through positive intelligence. And I am a huge fan. I am obviously working on getting certified as a positive intelligence coach or mental fitness coach. And so this is just a little bit more about why I insist on us PQing every time we start. So positive intelligence. Okay, I'll give you a little background. You can go to the website positiveintelligence.com, all one word, positive intelligence. But positive intelligence was founded through the wonderful mind of Shazad Shamain. So you can look him up as well. They do have a YouTube channel. In fact, I'll put the info in there. But I am more than happy to help you get familiar with the PQ system. Now, positive intelligence was so thoughtful, okay, and how they came about realizing, okay, how can we best help people, with their self-actualization? How can we best help people, get to the better parts of themselves, okay? How do we make the world a more loving, a more caring, a more basically happier place, one person at a time? Okay. So mental fitness is just as important as, again, as our physical fitness. And a lot of people know how to, just because of all the enormous amount of information, right? We all know how to physically stay fit, more or less, right? I mean, the information's out there. Putting it into an order that works for you is going to be up to you. Plus, if you want more strategy, right? That's why you hire people who know more than you. The same would be attributed to the mental fitness arena. So I myself have been through therapy, and I have nothing against therapy. I think you should go to therapy, even if you don't think there's anything wrong with you. Go to therapy. There's something very relieving, very satisfying, for lack of a better word, going to a complete stranger who has nothing other than just your best interest in mind, but has that third party distance, meaning they are going to be totally objective when it comes to what you tell them. And because they're trained professionals, they can help you in a crisis. They can help you when you're dealing with high anxiety, like I was. So, nothing wrong with therapy. I'm all for therapy. In fact, most of my clients have been or are currently in therapy, and I prefer that. In my vision, when I coach clients, preferably fellow female activists, they're already in some type of therapy work. And why is that? Well, they obviously know that they require support and they don't want to try it all alone on their own. And so I like to think of myself as like that gap filler, right? So from the time you see your therapist, maybe you do go once a week, but in most cases, a lot of people only go like maybe once a month, twice a month, something like that. Well, I can act as that gap filler, right? So that they can feel more supported when they're not in front of their therapist. In fact, I can help them with their therapy. Not that I'm going to be a therapist. On the other hand, I can help with the positive intelligence, mental fitness, and that will help them in their therapy. Okay. So, mental fitness, okay, just a really quick, brief definition is basically the ability to be in any situation, any event, okay, and face that situation, face that moment with a positive mindset versus a negative mindset. And through evolution, we humans have pretty much been set up with a negative mindset, and that was for survival, simply for survival. Now, it still is there in our subconscious, okay? And while that keeps us alive, again, our autonomic nervous system has two parts, main parts. It has the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic, okay? The sympathetic is your fight or flight, right? Oh, I need to get out of here or I'm in trouble, versus the parasympathetic, which is your calm, your rest and digest system. So, more times than not, most of us, just like we're chronically dehydrated, a lot of people, my fellow female activists included, are chronically stressed. That means our sympathetic nervous system is never at a regulation level that is helpful to us. It is always slightly higher than it should be. That's not good for our hormones. That's not good for our overall health. It's just not good for anything. Now, keep in mind that our system is working. So our ANS is working. It's just that it's becoming overloaded needlessly, right? Our sympathetic nervous system works constantly because it's always looking out for us, right? Is there a saber-tooth tiger out looking for us? Possibly, right? Depending on what you deem as dangerous, right? More times than not, though, what we perceive is what our subconscious, which is where our sympathetic nervous system exists, right? More times than not, what we perceive as, or what your brain is perceiving as a threat via life or death is really just you not being able to find your keys and you need to leave, right? You need to electronically find that fob so that you can make sure you have it with you when you want to start the car or the vehicle, or, you need the key fob to make sure that when you electronically lock your front door, that you can get back in regardless, right? So your brain, or I should say your subconscious, doesn't actually differentiate between reality and perceived reality. Let's put it that way, right? So when you're dreaming, that's why it can be dangerous when you're dreaming and you feel like you're falling. That's not a good thing. You want to make sure you wake up really quickly from that. But mental fitness is the idea that just like when you're in the gym to get stronger, you're doing so as well with your mind, though. So I won't go too much more into it, but mental fitness basically has three core muscles that we're trying to strengthen. The first one is just that knowledge, awareness that we have saboteurs, that our judge, we know that the judge is talking to us when we're really out of control, mad, when we're feeling any type of negative emotion. that is our judge, as well as our 9 saboteurs or our 9 accomplice saboteurs, feeding into the judge that ultimately makes us feel bad, okay? What we perceive as negative emotions. Keep in mind, emotions are just emotions. We are humans. We all have emotions. We have stronger emotions, okay, that make us feel one way. And then we have less strenuous emotions that don't take so much out of us. But emotions are emotions. So I'm not trying to say that inevitably one is better than the other, okay? We have all these emotions for a reason. It's when we let what we perceive as negative emotions keep us in a negative mindset. That's when it becomes a problem. Okay. So, first core muscle that we're trying to strengthen in mental fitness, again, is the just acknowledgement that our saboteurs are talking, quite literally. All right. So, we can tell that saboteurs are talking and they're upsetting us. Your second core fitness muscle that you're trying to really make stronger in mental fitness is the absolute knowledge that your sage gets to take over. So, what that means is that you've acknowledged that there was a negative emotion. And I love this analogy. When your hand is on a hot stove, how long are you going to keep it there? You instantly know that your hand is on something hot, particularly a hot stove. You will immediately draw it away, hopefully, if that's the case. Well, that's an immediate acknowledgement of pain. Most negative emotions are associated with some type of pain. Well, why would you keep your hand on the hot stove if, in fact, you already knew that it didn't need to be there anymore? You knew that the pain was what was causing the pain. Now take it away. But yet, we don't do so in instances when we're upset, when someone has wronged us, when we're in a debate on a strong subject matter. We keep our hand theoretically on the hot stove. And that's not fair. There's no reason for us to torture ourselves that way. Once we've acknowledged, our brain knows that there's something wrong, immediately it wants us to take away the hand on the hot stove, i.e., once you realize that you're upset, you now know your saboteurs are talking to you or through you, and now you want to be in your sage. You want to transfer from a saboteur mindset into a sage mindset. And that's your second muscle that you're trying to make stronger. And then the third and final core muscle in mental fitness is your ability to take self-command. So again, positive intelligence has done a wonderful job of taking different modalities, cognitive behavior therapy, positive psychology, as well as neuroscience, okay? And I forget the other one, but basically through factor analysis, root factor analysis, they came into what is now known as positive intelligence's method of positive quotient repetitions, okay? And they have a whole app that I can facilitate for you. But more importantly, again, 3 core muscles to gain mental fitness that will help you not only maintain mental fitness, but overall physical fitness, okay? Spiritual fitness. It all works together. So, again, 3 main core muscles for mental fitness. You acknowledge you have the saboteurs and you hear them. Before, you probably weren't even aware of them, and then you become aware. Second is the ability to then come into your sage mode, okay? And then 3 is to use your sage to actually go into self-command and to turn that situation from a negative experience into just a gift or opportunity. How can I turn this moment in time that I'm not happy with into a gift and opportunity? Now, again, it's not always going to be possible to theoretically take that hand off the hot stove when we're really heated. And as fellow female activists, we all know what can get us heated. And it's in us, each one of us, to be empowered and to realize that we can, in fact, live our lives so that our ANS, our autonomic nervous system, is not so taxed. Yes, we're going to have a rough week coming up. We're going to have rough, months coming up, we're going to have rough years. And guess what? It's how we choose to face those rough moments that will define us. Okay. Um, I already know because you're here. You're a female activist, which means you have resilience built into you, no matter who you are. You have the the objectivity that comes from knowing that you have so much power of creation. You have the power of hope. You have the power of nurturing. So I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. All I'm asking is that you think about, again, how you meet each moment and if it's serving you. Because I can assure you, when you're able to see the saboteurs and not react, but actually just to respond and let them know that they're not necessary, your life is going to be 10 times easier. Absolutely. And if you have letters behind your name, specifically in psychology, in any type of neuroscience, stuff like that, I would love, to hear from you. I just adore anything that helps us understand our brain more because it is truly the most magnificent machine ever built. And the more we learn about it, the more we understand it, the better off we can be ultimately, right? So again, the goal of mental fitness is to make sure that we can approach and respond to any event, any situation that we face with a positive instead of a more than natural negative mindset. Okay. So, my CTA, my call to action for you is if you're interested at all learning more about how we could work together and you can learn more about the positive intelligence 6 week, it's a 6 week program, the foundational mental fitness program. I'd be happy to give you insight. And if you want to work in other aspects too, I have two different ways that I can help people, actually, like three, but more importantly, is right now we're talking about mental fitness. And again, that's why I want to be here, helping you, again, learn more tools and tricks, okay, to make sure that we're getting through what we're going to get through. So, with that, you all have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, whenever you're watching this, and we will see you next time. Until then, take care, take charge. God bless.